It's fine.
I really don't care. I'm not going to send it to him.
I'll do a Charlie Brown podcast special.
I'm going to send him the. Oh, I'll send him the actual podcast. I'm going to check all of our stuff. We are live right now on YouTube. And,
Are you kidding me right now?
no, what?
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
you're really fuzzy on my screen. Are you fuzzy on yours?
No.
Okay. As long as you're not fuzzy on yours, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm totally clear.
Okay. Let me check our YouTube. Make sure that it actually went live. I can't remember if I'm supposed to touch something. I think I have to. Nope. No. See if it's working. Yep, we're good.
All right.
Okay, so we're live on there. I'm gonna check our Twitch. You've been drinking along there, Jay? Oh my gosh.
Just this insulated fuel pod tumbler.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Oh man.
Edit stream info.
Do.
What? Did you have a good day
Nothing.
today, man?
No, I didn't. But here we are.
You know, I was trying to be nice.
I mean, there's good days and there's bad days and there's shit days and then there's the day I had.
That's fantastic.
Is it?
I'm sure everybody watching right now is like, okay, well, this is fun.
Yeah, lots of
You're
fun.
the one that wanted all the back stuff getting
Well, I
ready.
just thought it was cool to, people to see the seriously unfiltered version where,
Seriously unfiltered.
yeah, seriously, strenuously unfiltered.
Strenuous.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tweet out our.
So I have a category on here under our news for Bubba the Stink Wallace.
Oh,
Um,
he got suspended a race, right?
That's already over with. Man,
Oh,
you're so far behind. Anyway, I put it in
okay.
subparagraph C on the notes, but then I actually wrote the piece about it on subparagraph E. So I wrote on my notes under C, go to E.
I'm already confused.
You tell me something I don't. Shocker.
As long as you know.
Yeah.
Long as you know, man. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure our YouTube's right. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Can't you our
Dun, dun,
Twitch stream from the race?
dun, 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 dun,
Or
dun.
can I do it?
You can.
Wonder if I don't know how to do that on here. You have to teach me how because I haven't done it yet.
You just gotta hit share screen.
Right now, I'm just pop up. Hold on.
How do I switch? I accidentally switched channels. I don't know what I did.
Do they still see the video of me, though? Is my point.
Yep. Well, I don't know. Do it real quick.
Okay, so hold on. Going to my channel. Where do I share it?
It should say on the bottom, it says share screen right next to hang up and leave and speaker and all that crap. See that?
So we want to.
I want an iguana. How do I switch my? There we go. Back. Yeah, there we go, baby. Okay. Don't write it. We'll do it live. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm in a committed relationship with Terry Black's barbecue. That does look good, Jeff Kavanaugh. Paste. At pod underscore fuel is live.
it won't.
What?
Okay. Well, no,
No, it won't. I bet it won't share. I don't know. Is it working?
I don't know. Hold on just a second.
Nothing on my end. Hey, I see it. Well, no, I see us.
Now I've got it on full screen.
Yeah, but I still see you. I see you. You and
Okay.
I are down here on the sides, and it says stop sharing something on the bottom, which is you.
Is our race up? Is Will
Yeah, I'm
Buxton?
watching Will Buxton right now.
All right. All right.
So let's get through Will Buxton. We'll start the show while Will Buxton's talking. I don't know how to, so we can't hear him though.
Yeah, I muted it.
Okay. You tell me because it's real choppy on my end.
Okay.
So tell me when we're good to start. I guess we can just go ahead and start the show while it's going, huh?
Yeah.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah. Hey, wait.
Hey, what?
What intros do I have to wait on?
Uh,
Is the Hyundai on there?
This is so it's forever there. The Do It Live is not.
Okay.
I can put it on there. You may put it on there?
No.
Okay, you ready?
I'd say do one or the other, but yeah, I'm ready.
I mean, the Do It Live, I think we saved that one for when we're with Will
Yeah.
live. Okay, we ready to roll?
Yep.
All right, hit record.
Give me everything you got. Big picture here today, buddy. Big picture. Just be nice and smooth here. This podcast covers all things motorsports. It's unfiltered, it's unfast, and
you can do whatever the Hyundai you want. We are back with episode 29, season 2, episode 9. If you're me,
episode 20. Is it 29 really?
Yeah, it's 29, dude. It feels like it's been forever. I know we did the live show, which was
so much fun.
Excellent, man. I enjoyed that very much.
That was a good time, man. Thanks, Will, for having us out at the Hugo Car Show. That was a really good time. Yeah. We had a blast.
And then you went on your 33rd vacation, and we took a week off.
We did take a much needed break.
Yeah, we did.
It was
it wasn't technically a full week, but
no, I mean we just took one episode off.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But like I get it. These people that do the radio every single day,
right,
and current events every single day, and I don't write the rundown. You write the rundown, but like watching the races, and it's different watching the races. Like we watch the races and watching it and making notes and getting ready for the podcast and talking about the things that we're going to talk about. It's I mean it's not work, but
right,
it's taxing. I mean, so it was nice to take a little break.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting with friends watching Austin COTA Circuit of the Americas on Sunday, and I had my notes app open on my phone, taking notes like every time something significant or something that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
I would make a little one-liner so that I could inject it into the podcast. But
so real quickly before you go, if you're listening to this either on ESPN Paris 105.1 or on our podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google, all that, a reason to subscribe to our channel is our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel is because we're live right now on those, and we're showing our video where we raced COTA this week.
Now, no, not. That's actually
this is practice.
No, this is Bahrain.
I'm sorry. Okay, well, this is Bahrain.
COTA's on there, aren't they?
Well, it should be. So anyway, this is us at Bahrain. If you're watching us live, and I'm sorry, I got to quit looking at it. Okay, Jay, what are we going to get into?
Well, the title of this episode is "Every Little Thing He Does Is Magic," and that he in this situation is referencing Max Verstappen. I didn't want to say his name out loud.
Hey, man, I apologize. It's 2-time world champion Max Verstappen.
Okay, man, whatever whatever you want to say.
Man, what a great race for him this week.
Wow,
it was a heck of a race.
Yeah, it was. And obviously he clinched for the Constructors Championship for Red Bull.
Yep.
So, that's a good piece of the puzzle. And of course we had Dietrich Mateschitz, who is the founder, and man, try not to go 8th grade. I mean, I'm not kidding. Seriously. Anyway, he passed away this week at the tender old age of 78, and his Red Bull gave him wings, and he's, up there and with the spirit in the sky. So
we get all the song references today.
So that they won it. Max obviously dedicated the race to him.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that they went out and also clinched the constructors title. So first time since 2014, by the way.
See, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You said that the other day, and I was like, well, they won it last year. I thought they did win it last year. and it was just Max won the drivers' championship, but Mercedes won the constructors.
Right.
Okay, so it was a good race. I mean, if you got to watch it, you got to see Red Bull have a little adversity that we haven't seen this year.
Yeah.
You know, I
and
mean, to have some pit issues.
well, and not just that, COTA is a unique track. First off, it's an American track and it's very American. I mean, there's a lot of wide open sweeping turns.
I love that track.
And there's some decent, that straight stretch on the backside seems like it lasts forever. You and I ran it this week.
We did.
We picked a different car. Neither one of us had ran the Alpine. So, I like that track. It's not my favorite, obviously, but I do enjoy running there. But yeah, as you mentioned, Verstappen had some, he had trouble with the wind all day. He kept complaining about the wind for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't control the car. I get on the backside
and I'm sure I mean, you think about a lot of these tracks and they're sheltered. They have mountain ranges around them, or they have, they're in a valley, or they're,
Right.
they don't have Texas hill country wind flying through there,
That's true.
and it's been really windy lately. So that makes a difference, I'm
Right.
sure.
And I think it averaged like 25.
I mean, gusty wind like
Yeah.
that has to make a difference, those cars.
Yeah. It was like 25 knot winds or something like that. It was something crazy. But, and these cars aren't that heavy. So
Yeah.
they're exposed to the elements. But he was the only one.
Of course he
griping
was.
about the wind.
It's kind of surprising that Lewis didn't. And by the way, man, I thought Lewis was going to win. I really, and we've said it 100 times on the show, 29 times to be exact. I'm not a Lewis fan.
So,
but I want him to get a win this year.
I watched the race with F1 Farmer this weekend, and
shout out F1 Farmer
and Chaz Michaels, his dad. That's not his real name. I'm protecting his name to I don't know what you do. Like, he's like, anyway. So we watched the race together. We kind of all wanted, we were kind of all pulling for Lewis, which is weird for me. Not a big Mercedes fan, not a huge Lewis fan, but there's no denying what the man has done and his impact on Formula One. And I wanted to see him get that win this week, and I really did.
There's something to be said about, and I'm going to not articulate this right, but it's like the end of an era.
Yeah.
And you know it.
Yeah.
And you know that it's over.
It's Derek Jeter, man. It's,
It is, but you want him to go out. You don't want him not winning.
Right.
Because if he doesn't win this year, is he going to win next year? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, like, I just want to hang on for just a little bit longer and have that feeling of Lewis Hamilton still a stud in the sport. And he is. He raced a good race. He just didn't have the horses to keep up with Red Bull. But, yeah. And let's talk about that for a minute. Is Red Bull's car, so they were he was 12 seconds behind, I think.
Who?
Wasn't Max 12 seconds behind Lewis when he came out of the pits? Or was it 10 seconds?
Yeah,
like that?
Roughly in that neighborhood. And I really wasn't, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't really watch Max anymore.
Yeah.
He's boring to watch. I mean,
but here's the thing.
In a good way.
What I mean is, there's not, Mercedes is a top tier team. How does Max catch him? 10 seconds is in F1 is a pretty good lead. I mean, like, that's usually an insurmountable lead.
There was some tire stuff going on. Tire age and dag between the two cars. That was for sure.
And Lewis ran hards. I didn't understand that one.
Yeah. And here's another piece. They were both close to black flag penalties for track limits, which is common at COTA.
Is it really common there?
Yeah.
Where's the spot?
Do you remember last year? It was like,
I don't.
Turn 14, turn 20 there at the end, because everybody comes around that final turn
and tries to cut it.
They don't cut it.
Oh, they extend it to get up to speed faster.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And
that makes sense.
You cross into the red and white stripers with all four tires, and that's track limits.
Yeah.
So they both did it multiple times. Lewis kept calling on the radio saying, "Hey, Max went out at turn 20, and I'm pretty sure he went out at turn 9. So look at the tape," kind of thing. But it is what it is. You got to play the games you got to play.
Sure. I mean, they got to do whatever they got to do.
So
it was.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and I thought Hamilton had a good run the entire race. He didn't really do anything wrong. He didn't put a foot out of place, man. He did what he was supposed to do. It's just sad he didn't get the win, but I kind of want to go through the race beginning to end real quick and get through there. But so obviously obviously Leclerc had the pole because Ferrari gets the pole but never gets the win. They're the bridesmaid but never the bride.
They're the Chad.
Right.
They're the Cox
So-
25. I get the pole all the time, never can win. I used to get the pole. Now I don't even get that anymore.
But man, Max came off that when the lights went out. He came off of that with a vengeance.
Exact opposite of what he did last week.
Yeah.
You know, where he had the rough start.
Yeah, he did. But
And-
he still pushed it
Yep.
out and got past him in turn one.
Yep.
Same thing happened this week. So he gets ahead of him. Right in turn one at the beginning of the race. You see, if you were watching it on F1 TV, and I don't know how the covers look.
Wait,
on
no,
ESPN.
Sainz had the pole. I thought you said Leclerc had the pole.
sorry.
Sainz had the pole.
Sorry, it was a Ferrari.
Yeah,
Had the
yeah,
pole.
yeah.
Anyway,
Sainz had the pole.
so if you watched it on F1 TV, you just saw Sainz spin out, and then they went back to the replay and showed it. And Russell just basically out of Sainz. And I want to save my rant for later.
Okay.
But no, I'm going to save it for later. I'm not even going to say anything. Let's just say right now that Russell slammed into Sainz.
I will
and
tell you
spun him
that
out. Do
that-
not steal my rant.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
It seems like George Russell, and I have been a big
Oh my
fan
God,
of
you're
him.
gonna absolutely.
I'm not going to steal your rant. I'll wait. Keep going. Keep
Okay.
going.
So anyway, Sainz spun out of the race. He said he just had a puncture, which was weird. When he came around, he made it all the way around the track with the puncture, gets back in the pits, and you see him lift up the car and pull it. I'm like, oh my goodness, what happened? So I'm guessing he had some internals damage
Had to
from the
be,
hit
yeah.
in
Had to
the
be
left
something.
side.
But you would think that car could stay on after Alonso, but go ahead.
Right.
Keep going.
Well, then, Verstappen builds a good lead. And so if you're a Ferrari fan, you're hoping for a safety car. And guess what? Ding, ding, ding. We got one.
Yep.
So Alonso's coming down the backstretch, which, by the way, he was driving like a man possessed.
He really was.
Him and Vettel both, which was awesome to see. But Alonso's behind his teammate for next year.
Yeah, Lance Stroll. Yep.
And there's a rule in F1. If you got two cars, and I mean they are nose to tail, and the car in the rear pulls out for the pass, you are not allowed to move. I don't know if
Okay,
you knew that or not.
So I always thought they got
cannot-
one defensive
no,
maneuver.
That's in a turn
So why are they not allowed to block?
because it's dangerous. That's why.
Clearly. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly.
Now, if there's space between the two cars, sure, move left or right one time and block them out. But if you are nose to tail, it is too dangerous. If a guy kicks out on you, you are not allowed to move. And
And he
Stroll-
clearly did.
Oh my goodness! When they did the in
mean,
cab
it's very
view, you
clear.
could see him just kind of twitch over.
I mean, I don't know if it was just instinctive. I don't know if that's a word.
Instinctual.
That was a lot. I think I combined like 2 or 3
you
words
did.
there. If it was one of those things where he knew he was going left, he saw him and just went to block,
Right.
just automatically, But I mean, he clearly did it.
Oh yeah, he did. So
And
Alonso's front right tire goes over the rear left tire of Alonso and shoots it, or over Stroll and shoots him into a wheelie.
he looked like an NHRA car in a burnout.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
a dumb, like a supercar,
yeah,
funny car, or whatever. they're called.
immediately,
Yeah.
like that rear. I thought well, he thinks he can fly. I didn't know what was going on.
Almost said dummy car instead of funny car, but to me that anyway, we'll get to that later. So does a wheelie,
Okay,
pieces of the car flying everywhere. Ends up finishing the race with that damaged car, by the way,
which was impressive because usually the car hits the
Yeah.
wall. And first off, the wing comes like part of the wing came off.
well, I forgot what track it was, Baku, and he lost a tire and had some other damage, and he did basically 3/4 of a lap at Baku with no tire and still got it into the pits.
That's crazy.
Insane.
There was somebody this year too that lost like the front tip of a wing, the front wing.
This
It
week,
might have been Verstappen. No, this year. They like lost the front. You know how it's got the little, it's got the little thingamajobbers
Yeah,
on the side.
the
That's a highly
stabilizers.
technical term. Yeah. And they lost one of them and they finished the race.
Perez did this week.
Maybe. Oh, did he really? I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
Yeah, which was another piece of the controversy that
Sorry,
I'll
go
get to
ahead.
in a minute. But yeah, so that brought out a safety car that got everybody close together. Pit stops occurred. Leclerc had a really good pit stop. Guess who didn't have a good pit stop?
Who?
Well, you're the one that wrote it. Max Verstappen
I
in
just-
his 12-minute
I
pit
was
stop.
I knew who it was. I just thought you were
Okay.
going with it here.
So
But he did have a trouble. It was like the left front air gun jammed or something happened. Didn't
Yeah.
have enough. I think they said they didn't have enough torque in it.
Yeah, and they had
to
to
get
change out guns real quick.
Yeah.
Which wasn't real quick at all.
It was not quick at all. I felt like it was it Leclerc or Sainz or whatever at the first of the year, a couple of races ago or whatever, and one guy just didn't go out there. That's what I felt like it was. I was like, what did they have to go get one
Yeah.
at Walmart? What are we doing here?
Well, the funny thing was once Max got back out on the track, he was like, beautiful guys.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
there's a couple beeps there.
Totally beautiful guys.
You know what though? He didn't berate anybody.
No.
Just a little, okay.
Yeah, but that was his way of saying, guys, one job. You had one job. Get the gun on the wheel.
Yeah, and he doesn't know that the gun malfunctioned. I mean, he doesn't know that it wasn't human error.
Right.
But again, you're right. You got one job.
Yeah.
Make sure that gun's ready.
And he failed.
He failed.
So
that old boy failed.
Before I get to we're going to kind of flip flop 2 comments on here. Before I get to my Vettel goes beast mode situation, you wrote that Leclerc probably had his best race.
I don't know if it was his best race. I put that on here just as a talking point because I know he's won this year.
Yeah.
But as far as aggressiveness and going after it, it's almost like you might have said this. It's like the weight of the championship is off of him.
Right.
And he's just rolling. He raced Verstappen very hard, very well, put a NASCAR move on him.
Yeah.
Leclerc or Verstappen passed in turn 1, I think. I don't know. All the turn numbers. Verstappen passes him. Leclerc immediately ducks down and takes the spot right back. I mean, it was a beautiful move. It was a wonderful move.
And, it was funny because I was talking to Eric and I was really thinking about baseball or football. Let's say football. And you have a team that's, 4-11 or 4-10, and they're in a playoff game with somebody that's, 12-1.
Yeah.
And they've got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
And they end up killing them.
It never fails.
Right. Never fails.
Yep.
And this was a very similar situation. And I think you're right. And my biggest point, and you and I have talked about it for weeks and weeks, both on here and offline, about how I think he's got the yips when he's behind Perez.
There's something to it.
And if you don't know what the yips are, there's any number of baseball movies, folks, that you guys can find.
Or Tin Cup.
Yep.
And
you talk about getting the yips where you can't function in certain situations. And
he got really tight.
Yeah. I maintain the theory that Leclerc just can't function when he's behind Perez. But he overcame that this weekend.
Oh man, he raced him hard too.
I mean, and he risked life and limb there, and which was cool because Perez ended up having to smoke out the tires and get flat spots.
Yeah,
to try to maintain it, and he still couldn't do it. So,
and Leclerc made a heck of a move too before he passed him.
Yeah,
where they both dove into the corner, and Leclerc recognized that if I stay on this line, I'm getting hit.
Yeah,
and he bounced out just a little bit, just enough to clear. Perez kept the spot. They didn't have to get the spot. Him anyway.
Yeah.
But I just thought Leclerc had some of his best racing, I thought, of the year.
Yeah.
Not just getting out in front and running away, which I understand he did, but like pure talent, showing what the car could do. Unfortunately, his car's just not as fast as Max's.
No, it's not.
And
nobody has that kind of pace. I mean, he's at superhuman levels. I don't even mind mentioning that, but
it really is impressive.
It is. Anyway, Vettel, 36 years old, retiring this year.
I'm so sad about that.
I am too, man. I mean, Alonso's my favorite driver, but Seb is probably right up there, top 3. And this is kind of his farewell tour. We've talked about that. I think he's got a win at COTA. I know he's got a DNF at COTA too, but I'm pretty sure he had a win at COTA. Anyway, I want to say 4 or 5 laps. I think he did 2 tremendous passes in the last 4. He passed Ocon, and I thought that one was crazy rock star level, right? And then he gets up on Magnussen, and they're fighting in turns that nobody should try overtakes in. And on top of that, he passes him on the outside of the turn.
You and I watched that one together today at lunch, and I mean, what a great pass.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Down to the final turn, they were fighting.
The last hairpin little turn out there.
And so I like to see the fact that he's not just consigned with the fact that I'm retiring and I'm just going to take it easy and have a good time, which he could do.
Yeah. I
mean, I'm sure he's not making any of the mandatory press junkets.
Probably not.
He's probably like, yeah, not going to be there.
I'm good. Thanks.
What are you going to do? Fire me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it was, and I felt really bad for him because he's another one that had a terrible pit stop and the same tire. I don't know if they couldn't get it seated right, but they said on the broadcast that, I mean, he was right there fighting for a podium.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how cool would that have
Him
been?
and Stroll both were up there for quite a while. So
It's nice to see Aston Martin rolling pretty good. I like
it
Aston
is.
Martin.
And, I think they need to. And, as that car becomes more and more Aston Martin and less other stuff, I think that's going to be fun to watch. But, I think bringing Alonso in next year is going to help more. I don't think it's going to be as much of a driver impact as it's going to be. Alonso is one of those guys that'll tell you how to fix the car.
I remember you saying it's going to be more of a race engineer
Yeah.
impact. I guess that's the
Yeah.
right term. I don't know. Like a setup person. Like
Sort
how
of
to-
like Pete Rose, head coach and player. It's going
Yeah.
to be that kind of
Gotcha.
situation. So I keep making other
a lot of baseball references today.
I love baseball, man. America's pastime. Anyway, the other funny thing I thought was right at the beginning of the race, probably 6 or 7 turns into it, Gasly comes over the radio and's like, I don't know what's going on. My car smells like barbecue.
Welcome to Texas, y'all.
And I was thinking, did he eat barbecue before the race, or is this the second time barbecue comes up? Because us Americans, and I use absolutely improper grammar there, but barbecue is one of those things. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Faux show.
So I was wondering if they hit,
I'm sure they hit a good
Woody's
barbecue,
or-
a good barbecue
yeah.
spot before.
So anyway, that was just a funny piece of information. But post race shenanigans.
Yeah, what is this? I didn't get this.
Okay, so 2 different races, Kevin Magnussen and Schumacher, I think, had their front stabilizer on their front wing hanging off, and they were immediately black and orange flag for safety to come in and get that thing fixed. Perez, his was dangling. I mean, it was flopping in the wind, and they let him go basically 2 laps.
10 full J again.
And then,
Here
we
comes 10
go.
full J.
Yeah, but it's true, man. His was going like that for 2 laps, and then it flew off, and they're like, well, now it's fully broke, so we don't have to bring him in.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I realize I'm clicking my pen because I'll throw it over there because it's a conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Now it's Red Bull trying. They gave Max the championship. Now they're trying to give Red Bull the constructors.
Okay, let's think. All jokes aside, nobody gave Max anything, and I'll be the first to admit it. That guy. I mean, you just watch it and you're just like, man,
he's good.
Yeah, these guys are 27 Yankees. You know what I'm saying? I mean, oh my gosh, there's another baseball reference for a team I cannot stand, by the way. It's the 04 Red Sox. But, you can't say anything bad about Max. But Perez and that whole situation and the things that Red Bull have done throughout the year, yeah, you absolutely can. So
it's true. There's been a lot of weird breaks.
And Haas, I don't think they were wrong having a beep, with what was going on there. And here's another thing. It's not like Haas is trying to benefit themselves. Even if they're, are upheld by the FIA, it's not going to change Haas's standing. It'd be different if it was Ferrari.
Yeah.
Or Mercedes going to the stewards and going, dude, what gives?
So did Haas actually go out and say something?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of social media about. Oh, really?
Yeah. As far as I know, there was
he's got his pen back. We're about to start clicking again.
Haas is just saying, hey, man, you made us come in on the same lap that it happened, and you're letting this guy go a lap and a half, 2 laps, and wait until it falls off, and then go, well, fell off now. Now we don't have to bring him in. Well, of course you don't.
I actually saw the clip where it flies off, and I mean, how did they get that off the track? Because it wasn't in the racing line, but
no, it wasn't. It went completely off the track. I watched it because Alonso lost his mirror. Did you see that?
No.
So because of his wreck with Stroll and this, eventually his mirror got loose and it just flew off like a bullet.
Did they black and orange flag him?
Nope.
So it's not just Red Bull.
That's my point, though.
Yeah.
Is that Haas is not saying, hey, we're doing this because it's Red Bull. We're doing this because it's not fair.
Yeah. Same rules across all teams.
We're already the 9th or 10th place team, and you're penalizing us, but not penalizing the people winning the Constructors Championship.
It is odd.
And it really stinks of the fans want Red Bull to win. That's what it really stinks of.
Speaking of that, did you hear the boos when they announced Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez? And I guess the pre-race parties, Austin let them have it now.
Yeah.
They were booing him hardcore. I don't know. I don't know if they're Hamilton fans or Ferrari fans.
A lot of Hamilton fans down there.
I wonder why.
Matthew McConaughey, Ben Stiller.
Are they
Michael
big?
Douglas.
Are they big?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Brad Pitt at the race, Oklahoma boy.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that
Okay.
here later on.
So before we move off of F1 though, so I saw some breaking news, and this may not be breaking news, but it's breaking news to me. I didn't realize that Haas is basically forcing Schumacher out.
yeah,
Like, I mean, I thought, Schumacher at one time was going to move to Alpine, which that's not going to happen now. But you remember that, right? Like, I'm
Right.
not crazy. But I saw a thing today that basically said, I guess Gene Haas basically told him he finished in the points, or we're going to find. I mean, so Schumacher out after this year? I mean, where does he go? Williams still has an open ride, right?
yeah.
So who's going to take Haas's spot?
Well, I think Logan Sargent's going to take the.
He's the F2 guy, right?
Yeah, and I think he's going to take the Williams spot.
Also a American.
Yeah,
Yeah. So why wouldn't he go to Haas though?
I don't know.
American-owned
He
team,
could
American
possibly
racer.
take that one, but I mean, both of those spots are open. So you've got DeVries coming in. You've
And
got
AlphaTauri.
right. You've got Logan Sargent definitely coming in.
As long as, but now he has to get his license points, right?
Right.
Which he has not done yet.
And here's the thing: you still have an open invitation, and we'll talk about the stink behind this. But you still have a lot of people. I mean, and they're not talking about it. Gunther Steiner gave Danny Ricciardo an open invitation to take the Haas seat. I mean, absolutely, it's yours. Oh, you just call me and let me know.
So Schumacher out,
Schumacher out, right?
Danny Ric, it's yours if you want it.
But here's the deal.
And he publicly said this. So you haven't read that anywhere, right?
No,
Like he publicly said.
And F1 Farmer and I were talking about this the other night, and
Okay.
he brought up an excellent point. So Danny Ricciardo is making 15.6, 15.7 million a year at McLaren.
And his buyout's
Somehow,
20, right?
His buyout was 21.
Okay.
But that's contingent upon him not having a seat, not working.
Oh, okay. So,
So-
it's one of those like a football coach. You got your buyout, but if you get a job, we're only going to pay the difference.
They're not even paying. They're paying nothing.
So if he gets a job somewhere,
At Haas, making $3.6 million a year if he's lucky.
Why
He's
would you
losing
do that?
Right.
he's
take
not
the
going to do
year.
that. Yeah, take the year.
But there's a lot of people that say, hey, man, you take a year off, you won't be able to come.
I might be one of those people because I feel like you take a year off. It's hard.
Alonso.
I get it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's Alonso.
That's
And
yeah.
and Danny Ric, I mean, he's almost taken a year off this year. I mean, he's a warm body in a season. I mean, let's be honest. He was running 18th at COTA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he's out here just sitting there. Did you just really do the spit thing? I mean, like, I feel like I'm in the tortilla challenge.
So you had two other things with the Danny Ric thing that are funny. Romain Grosjean
I sent you that, yeah.
announcing that Danny Ric is built for IndyCar, which I think is just his way of
And he
trying
al-
to get Danny Ric to come to IndyCar.
Did you see Danny Ric's
Here's the thing,
response?
dude. You're
Said,
gonna
I'm
get
terrified of ovals.
you're gonna get tons of. If Danny Ric comes into your paddock, this is what you're getting. You're getting the jokester. You're getting the life of the party.
Yep.
You're getting the solid interview, so the press would love it because he's a press machine. Even Lewis Hamilton was talking about that. They did the post race with Lewis Hamilton and Danny Ricciardo, and they asked Lewis what they thought of Danny not having a seat right in front of Danny,
Yeah.
and he goes, "It's ridiculous." Like, well, he got offered the reserve driver job at your team. Should he take it? And he goes, no. He needs to be driving an F1 car, not standing in the paddock or in the pit box. And he said, if I was managing him, he'd be driving. So
I just wonder what's going to happen.
and you
he's
and I
gonna
have
take
talked
the year
about
off.
this, and you never, at least to me, my perception is you don't give it as much weight as I do. There is so many people on the F1 grid that don't have 8 F1 victories.
Oh, Danny Ric should have a job.
Charles Leclerc does not have 8 F1 victories. Sergio Perez does not have 8 F1 victories.
I agree, man. I would put Danny Ric in a Red Bull again tomorrow. And I know you said nobody goes back to Red Bull. I would put him back in there as a Red Bull fan.
Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso. Those are your top 3 F1 victories
Okay.
on the grid. Number 4
Danny
is Danny Ricciardo.
Yeah. He should have a job.
And then there are Look at my fingers. There are 16 other people, including beep beep Nicholas Latifi.
Go Tiffy.
Yeah,
That
they're
was
in that group.
now, but so here's the deal. Danny Ric can have a job next year, right?
Yeah,
If he wants one, he's got an open invitation.
but he'd be stupid to take. He's in that catch-22 where he'd be stupid to take it.
So there's a lot of things to play here, though.
Is it money or is it fame and
Is it-
glory?
He should have enough money
Yeah,
to be able to take an 18. Now, Godspeed.
I'm not going
I
to take
get
an
it.
$18 million pay cut,
But it's
I'm
not the
Danny
same
Ric.
to us.
Right.
It's
It means a lot more to me.
yeah.
I got kids, man.
For him, like that $18 million should not be, if you manage your money correctly, should not be make or break for him.
Correct.
That year off could be the end. I'm just saying it could be the end. And Mike Rogers, Diddy Pop Pie, our loyal listener, just texted me and said, do I have an unpopular opinion of Danny Ric? I would love to hear this unpopular opinion, Mike.
And I'd like to have Mike, sitting here at the table, putting his
if I
money where
could-
his mouth is.
If I could figure out how
literally.
to like hook my phone to
Yeah.
this, I'd have him call in and we could bring him in, but I don't know how to do that on the fly.
Because man, this
So-
week he's had tons of really good feedback.
Dude,
you know?
he's on
Yeah.
it. And now he's really into Formula One. I mean, he made fun of me for mowing the grass the other day when I was in the grass. I was in the grass a lot. And I found the grass in the desert.
I really started thinking, man, if he had his own F1 car, his sponsors would be Gravely, Kubota,
New Balance.
Zero Turn.
Actually, we could do the white on the bottom for the New Balance and then make it like green.
yeah.
So it looks like I've been mowing.
Do
I
some-
like it.
Do some grass blades across the bottom.
I'm digging
too.
it. So anyway, we got off the point, man. I was really going strong on Ricardo. I'm worried that if he takes this year, he's done because
I am too.
You had a really bad 2022, and you follow a really bad 2022 up with not doing anything in 2023.
And here's my thing too.
What value do you bring to me in 2024?
His downward spiral is self-inflicted.
100%, man.
And you kind of said this, and I want to take kind of a different angle to it. You said this because that was that week that I was really trying to lift up Danny, and you were like, dude, he did this to himself. But my reasons are a little bit different. One, he left Red Bull because he was scared of Max Verstappen.
Yeah. He
You and
didn't
I
want
are
to be
in agreement
driver
on-
too. He didn't want to be. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and then he goes to Renault, and he's got a great team around him.
Yep.
And he should
Uh-oh.
have stayed. He did. It took him 3/4 of a year to get on track with Renault, but he did get on track, and he was doing well. And they were starting to build. And Cyril Abitabu, who at the time was the chief principal for Renault before they turned into Alpine,
Okay.
and before they hired a real punk of a chief principal. Sorry, whoever you are. I don't even know your name. That ought to tell you something. And I remember everybody.
It's true.
Anyway, Cyril said, he goes, it's all false joy. It's all false hope. He goes, here we are building something with Danny. And he said this on Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
He said, but he's leaving at the end of the year. And I've got to, and I'm paraphrasing. He's like, I've got to get it in my mind that Danny won't be here. And we started this great thing and he's leaving. So it's kind of, bittersweet.
I don't understand why he did that.
Yeah.
It
It made no sense, man. And he made that decision at the beginning of that season, that second season, that he was already going to McLaren. So they had to go through the whole season
knowing he
was
wasn't going to
leaving.
be there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that decision right there started the downward spiral. The decision, not the decision to leave Red Bull. I don't think that was a horribly bad decision
Okay.
because he wanted to go somewhere where he was the guy. And walking into a team, Nico Hulkenberg, he was the guy, right?
True. Yep.
He could have stayed the guy and they would have transitioned to Alpine and Ricardo wouldn't have had to worry about seeing Alonso show up at Bahrain at the end of that season coming in the next year.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, but he did. And then he goes to McLaren into a car he cannot drive. It's not geared for him. It's not set up for him. It's not his kind of car. He needs to be in a Red Bull. He needs to be in a Ferrari even. He would be good at Ferrari. He would be good at Alpine. He was already good, getting good at Renault.
Yeah.
So those are cars he can drive.
Now, isn't Haas is Ferrari, right?
Yes.
I mean, so maybe that is a good spot for him. He's not going to win there,
Yeah.
but at least kind of build. So,
But it won't be his fault if they don't win there.
Yeah. So here's something I wanted to.
Plus, dude, Gene Haas opens a lot of doors. Not necessarily F1.
Is he gonna? Is he gonna end up on? Is he ever gonna get back on a top tier team?
No. 3.
You know-
I don't think you realize how much it hurts me to say that.
Me too. Like, this you can kind of tell it in my voice a little
Yeah.
bit that when I said, "Is he ever going to get back on a
We're
top
gonna-
team?" It's because like it
we're
makes
gonna-
me sad.
We're gonna miss next year. We're gonna miss. It's gonna not be as happy as it normally is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get
And
this
you
dude
kn-
riding on a horse.
Yeah, and you know that because you got guys like Hamilton and Alonso and Vettel saying, "Who's your favorite guy to hang out with on the grid?" Danny Ricciardo, Yuki, Gasly.
The good guys.
Yeah, they all like. Everybody likes him, dude. He's the guy everybody likes.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
I really am going to miss. You know, they had a picture. I just saw it on TikTok where Alpine's taking a team photo. Did you see this?
Yeah,
And he runs over and gets in the behind the car, just kind of like gets in the corner. You know, what I like about Danny Ric is he's huge and he's got this huge personality, but he's never demeaning.
yeah.
He's never like tries to steal the spotlight. You know, he jumps in the picture, he jumps in the back corner of the picture. You know, like I don't know. He just seems to be a good dude. I'm gonna miss him next year.
And I'll tell you something else too. And I
I
know
hope he
everybody out there is not a
goes to
gamer.
Haas.
Even all the racing fans, might not be gamers, but F122 launched with Lando, Russell, and Leclerc on the cover.
Yep.
And when you go to it on your PlayStation or Xbox or whatever you're playing on PC, and the splash screen pops up, it's those 3 guys. Last week, it changed.
I don't
Dude,
think I noticed that.
It changed to Checo, Danny, and Leclerc.
That's awesome.
Now you'd think, well, they'd put Max on there, but I think they're going to miss Danny. I think they think Checo's had a great year, and he has. And I think they think that Leclerc should have done better,
Yeah.
or his team should have been better for him, and they weren't. And it's kind of a swan song for all 3 of those guys, because all 3 of those guys, we're going to miss Danny because Danny's an impact on the F1 grid. And the other 2 probably could have won the title if things would have went better for them.
I mean, yeah, think about that for a second. We talked about Checo winning the title this year.
We did.
So we got 3 races left to kind of bring this full circle.
Can you believe we've talked about Danny probably for
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe. But you know what? I mean, it tells you how much everybody loves him. I don't think you'll find somebody, you will not find an F1 fan other than Mike that doesn't have an affinity towards Danny Ricciardo.
It's absolutely true. And the funny thing was at COTA this weekend, they actually last year they were the number 1 attended race, like physically attended race.
COTA was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year they broke their record.
That's awesome.
So over 420,000 people.
So cool.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if we were able to interview all 400 and whatever some odd thousand people and ask them what got you into F1, if they don't say Drive to Survive, they're lying.
Yeah, I would say the vast majority.
The vast majority, unless it's an old guy that remembers the old days with Villeneuve, those guys, Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, those guys, Schumacher, they're lying. They're in their late
because they want to.
20s. Yeah.
They want to sound like they've been Formula One fans forever. And
Absolutely.
Not just, I got you.
So,
I mean, my soul. I got in because of Drive to Survive.
Danny Ricciardo is the heart and soul of that show. At least he was for 2 or 3 seasons.
I wonder if Netflix is going to throw their weight around and be like, guys, we got to have him.
Yeah,
we got to have Danny Ric.
Yeah, until 2 years from now when we have the Netflix Formula One team.
Be kind of cool, huh?
Netflix, I'm going to copyright that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Call me tomorrow. We'll talk. I'll meet with your people. We'll sit down.
Have your people call my people.
Yeah,
my people.
We'll do lunch.
My people's me.
Well,
okay,
we can't do lunch anymore. We'll have to do a Zoom meeting.
So again, to wrap up that part of it, we got 3 races left.
Yeah.
What do we have left? We have Saudi Arabia.
No, let's do them in order. We got Mexico next weekend.
Yep.
We got
Brazil.
We got Brazil. And then we've got you call it Yabba Dabba Doo, but it's actually called Abu Dhabi.
I call it Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's Abu Dhabi.
Get my bad jokes, my dad jokes.
I like that track. I know you don't like it as much, but I do. I hate Mexico though, not because I hate the country. I just hate that course.
I like that track except for that turn out of the stadium.
And, and I've said this a million times when you and I run Mexico, you can never get started at Mexico. Every time you want to get started,
turn,
hairpin.
hair turn. Yeah. And I really like, I've been decent there. I
Yeah.
like that track.
You've won there quite a bit.
What
By
was
the
I
way,
gonna say?
folks, if anybody's been watching this while we've been talking, at least if you're watching the video version of this podcast, this is Bahrain, by the way, the first race of the season. And this was us doing our practice sessions 1, 2, and 3, and then our qualifying sessions 1 through 3. So sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's a good point to stop here because
Yeah.
I got a question. So if you're listening on ESPN Paris 105.1, if you're on our podcast, this is a good reason for the YouTube subscription. You can go back and you can watch us, see our pretty faces, and also we'll try to throw up our races. Now that we're back to doing our dual career,
Yeah.
that may be something we do every week. You just throw our races on while we're talking.
Yeah,
Even if we don't
absolutely.
talk about those, you can watch that and listen to us. So where was I going? Okay, so there's 3 races left. Max has tied the single season win record, right?
Yes, 13 wins.
Okay. Who has that record right now? Lewis?
It's tied.
With who?
It's a 3-way tie. So it's Michael Schumacher,
okay.
Sebastian Vettel, and Max Verstappen.
Okay, so Lewis isn't in that.
No.
I don't know why I thought he was.
That's
Okay.
what I was telling F1 Farmer this weekend is this is the worst season to watch if you're just tired of the same guy winning, because even the 7 years that Lewis Hamilton won,
He never
He
won
d-
13
he-
races.
No, he didn't. But you can come in second every race and you're the driver's champ.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
So okay, so the how many races did Schumacher do it in?
Dude, I don't know the range, but he won 13 races.
I mean, I just didn't know how many. Is it like he won 13 out of 20, 13
And
out of
here's
18?
the thing: they weren't running as many races, so it's actually more
Then, right?
impressive.
Like his was more impressive.
Yeah,
But it's no different between that and the NFL having touchdown records. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
He's playing with the field that's on. So he's got 13 wins, 3 races left. How many does he get? I know he's gonna. Odds are
2.
pretty great that he's gonna break the record.
2 out of 3.
So you're gonna think he's gonna races this year?
Yeah.
Which 2 you think he's gonna win?
Oh man, I think Mercedes is going to give him a hard time at Brazil
Okay.
because Lewis Hamilton is. I don't care what car you could put him in a taxi cab at Brazil.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good, except for the 2 times that he wiped out Albon.
Okay.
One of those was at Brazil.
Yeah.
But he won that race, by the way. So it's going to be hard. The crowd inspiration that Checo is going to have next weekend.
Yeah, home race.
So you got to think Checo and Sainz. And when they asked, I don't know if I retweeted it to the Fuel Pod Nation this morning, but Sky Sports asked who's going to be on the podium for Mexico.
Okay.
And I picked Alonso, Checo, and Sainz. Those are the 3 Spaniards. The 3, Checo's Mexican, but not because of that though. I want Alonso on the podium, but I want Checo to win his home race.
Yeah, I want him to win. I will be definitely Checo this
and
weekend.
Dude, Sainz has had 2 races in a row where he's out in lap 1.
How many?
So,
You know what? We talked about that.
so it has nothing to do with
That's like his 3rd or 4th time that he hasn't made it to lap 2.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with where they're from. It's 3 very different reasons that I want those 3 on there.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be Mexico. But Checo's had an incredible year, even without getting the championship. So I think the Checo Nation, when he goes to home, dude, it's going to be insane. I mean, it's already insane usually, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be dialed up to 11 this weekend.
So he's the 2nd in points, right?
Or
did he drop to? Okay, so
dude, it's so close. I think it's 4 points or something like
so it'd
that.
be cool to see Red Bull finish 1-2. I know.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
For you, maybe.
Well, I mean, I just think that's cool. I would think
Yeah.
it was cool if it was Leclerc and Sainz. I
Yeah.
think that's cool when you got a team that's that dominant. Okay. So we think he's going to get 2 wins, or you think he's going to get 2 wins?
Yeah.
I think he's.
I didn't answer your question though, so I think it's going to be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think it's going to be Abu Dhabi. I think we're going to get a repeat of last year at Abu Dhabi.
Brazil and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Brazil and Abu Dhabi.
I mean, process of elimination. You answered my question.
I
If
guess
he said he
so.
wasn't going to win Mexico, he could only win the other 2.
Okay, somebody ate their Wheaties tonight. Anyway,
so okay, have we exhausted F1 talk today?
yeah, looking at the old clockometer over here, yeah, we definitely have
43 minutes of talking F1. So
yeah.
Again, we started our dual career. Before we get off of F1, just real quickly, we started our dual career again.
Finally,
Yeah, we've kind of been hit. Call of
I
Duty.
still want to go back to 21 and finish that one.
I don't, because
Because, dude, you're so close.
I know, but it's over. I don't have a shot now because if I was leading Mexico, remember,
Yeah.
and I wrecked, if I'd have won that race, then I would have had a shot. But when you won, it basically took me out of contention.
Okay. I
there's
still
only
think
2
we should
races.
finish it.
Well, we can eventually.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I deleted it. Which it's in the cloud.
Yeah,
So we're racing dual. We went to Alpine,
we did.
which we'd never really been to before, other than that one GP.
Right.
It's a great car.
It is.
Terrible braking. So for me, it's weird that I like it because I'm getting better at this,
Yeah.
but I like to hard brake. It's just, I like to go in, hard brake, and get out.
So,
And I'm
just
getting
guys,
better at
and
it.
Chad, this is not, I'm just
It's
saying
okay.
this out loud, but Chad's one of those guys, even if he doesn't have anybody on his tail or he's not trying to overtake somebody, he will late break into a turn.
100%. It's the however many years of playing NASCAR.
Yeah. And I get it.
It's all it is. Now, I have consciously lately tried to lift in the green. And Eric said one time, try to never hit the red,
Right.
the red flags. So I lift in the green, let it slowly turn to amber to yellow, and then kind of accelerate out.
Right.
I'm still not great at it. And I still revert back to old habits, but I'm trying. I'm better. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why I go off the grass is because I'm thinking about that instead of steering the car where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, enough F1 talk. If you want to follow us on there, follow us on Twitch, ChadH610.
GMJ729.
We'll start putting the thing up on our YouTube channel so you guys can check it out. Okay, we got about 15 minutes, Jay.
So I want to move on to World Rally Championship real quick, and we'll just go quick so that we can get to our
We're good.
news. But so we had, as you know, Cali Rovanpera already clinched the world title, so they're not really racing for anything but the constructor. Toyota clinched the constructors championship this past weekend at Spain.
Is that Rovanpera's team?
That is Rovanpera's team, but it wasn't Rovanpera. He came in third.
Okay.
But a former world champ did win for Toyota, Seb Ogier. Guess whose car he drives?
Who?
Well, it's his car, but he kind of just is a part-time driver.
Elfin
now.
Evans? No, it's the
No.
guy that wants the full-time ride. We
That's a
talked about it.
Pekka
It's a Pekalaki. Let's throw that out there for Mike.
Yeah, that's for Mike.
It's all one word,
that's
Mike. It's all one
Pekka
word.
car with Sebastian Ogier driving. They brought home the title for Toyota Gazoo Racing this weekend, which was excellent to see. And talk about Max Verstappen, but let's talk about Toyota Gazoo on the whole when it comes to rally. They have dominated this year. There's only been a few rallies where Hyundai has done whatever the Hyundai they wanted to do. And if it wasn't, and I think that's, and it is Hyundai.
So Toyota just has the much better car.
Yeah. So they brought home the title. Terry Neuville he's had a couple of comeback rallies. He was in second place pretty much most of the year, and then about the halfway point he slipped.
Yeah.
And he really didn't come in. And the last few, he's really kind of made a run at it. Of course, he can't win, but he's done really well. Rovanpera was kind of on cruise control this weekend. Him and Ogier were trading stages back and forth on Thursday and Friday. But he came in, Rovanpera ended up coming in third. Oit Tanik is in that kind of, well, I don't have a shot at winning the title,
so I don't
so I'm
care.
gonna do what I can. But dude, he had an instance this weekend where his brakes blew up and caught on fire, and his car was stopped, and it looked like Ghost Rider, like his car was Ghost, like the wheels were literally just on fire,
Really
flaming. Yeah, it was kind of neat looking, even though obviously,
as long as he's safe.
Problems.
Yeah,
but a lot of punctures this weekend. But anytime they showed the cameras, and they do this a lot with rally, where they have a camera that's on the road, like I mean, literally on the road, just little pebbles here and there, and it was, I mean, punctures were just rampant this weekend. So it was kind of weird.
I said this before. One of my favorite parts of that is if there's a puncture, they get out and change it, right?
Yeah.
Like the drivers get out and here we go.
Yeah. It's
change the tire, boys.
40 seconds and, they're back going again. So that was a big deal. But anyway, Toyota clinched it. So huge congratulations to Gazoo Racing. It's been a pleasure watching you guys all year, and to your young driver, Cali Rovanpera, and to your soon to be exiting driver, Seb Ogier. So congratulations to you guys. But that's all I had for Rally Really this weekend.
All right. Well, next up is motorsports news.
Well, we can cross off Danny Ric because we have beat that dead horse to death.
We've
Beat
talked.
the dead horse. He rode the
He
horse.
rode a horse.
What?
One of my favorite things Maddie said this week is you can't ride a horse into the paddock and then get knocked out in Q1.
But I tell you what, let's on the fly, let's
Oh,
supplant
gosh.
Danny Ric with
Okay.
Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, was given the privilege and the honor of waving the checkered flag at COTA.
Is he dead? Because it looked like a corpse out there away from that flag. I thought maybe it was the night of the living zombies. I didn't know what was going on.
And guys, I'm not telling you anything you don't know because social media went so nuts. I was literally in the middle of tweeting, "This is the worst checkered flag wave I've ever seen in my life," when I saw the notification come in from Matty Gallagher at WTF. And hey, they need to teach a class.
It's all in the wrist. I mean, you got to you see.
Yeah, and you got to
just
do
go
the
straight
whole.
down.
Yeah, you know what
And then
the
you
heck,
pop it at
dude?
the end. I mean, he looked like he was waving it for his granddaughter's tricycle race.
Yeah, if
It's the
you've never
craziest
seen
thing
the
I've ever
movie
seen.
like Cockneys versus Zombies, I know I've brought this up.
I know.
on
I
the-
need to see that.
You need to watch that movie. But he was literally just standing there going,
It was ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, look
"There's
up
a 29-second YouTube video on Tim. Just search
Tim Cook F1.
shaking checkered flag,
just Tim Cook F1. I'll probably
Yeah.
get it. I mean, it was bad.
bro, dude.
Talk about disinterested
Yeah,
or robot or Manchurian
I'm
candidate or
sure
something.
Steve Jobs was probably rolling in his grave going,
I think
"Dude,
Steve Jobs could have done a better
I
job
do
today.
too." Yeah, I do.
Today, right now. Like he couldn't have done worse.
Man,
Too
sorry.
soon. Too soon. Too soon. He couldn't have done worse. He looked. It was.
Oh my
It's
God.
always a good show when Jay gets cracking up.
Oh,
I tell
man.
you what. We start talking zombies
Yeah.
on Fuel Pod. You know things have gone horribly off the rails.
Yeah. So anyway, second piece of information. So this weekend at COTA, and of course, it always brings out the celebrities.
Yeah.
Not as much as Abu Dhabi does for
Or
some reason.
Miami.
Or Miami. But
Miami.
so we had Brad Pitt and we had Jerry Bruckheimer.
Oh.
So
what are
Jerry
we doing?
Bruckheimer, Top Gun fame, Brad Pitt,
Everything
basically
fame?
Martin Scorsese's.
Hey, he's an
fun
Oklahoma
guy.
boy.
I did not know that.
He is. Second time
Although
I've
he
said it.
sounds like an Oklahoma guy.
I think he just lived here for a little while.
Yeah, probably.
Shawnee, up around Shawnee somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, they're doing an F1 movie with Lewis Hamilton on the collaboration.
Awesome.
Hamilton said, I read an article with him on motorsports.com that was talking about he was really excited about the team they've created and built around this movie. Brad Pitt saying it's going to be the greatest racing film of all time. And self-promotion aside, if you look at, some of Brad Pitt's most recent stuff, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was an incredible movie. And obviously I'm just spitballing. I have no idea what the plot is, but I can literally see Pitt playing not a racer, but like a principal in this movie. And this weekend
He'll be a principal. He's not going to be a racer.
yeah, he was knee deep in, you could see it, standing at not standing out front where, he could get FaceTime. He was in there with the race engineers looking at data. And I saw him a couple times pointing at the monitors like, "Hey, what's this do? And what's that?"
He's over there pushing buttons.
Right. So, and it was weird because a few months ago, I'd watched a video and I told you to watch this video where Tom Cruise had done an interview and then drove an F1 car with Jensen Button.
He did a great job.
David Coulthard and those guys. And he was talking about they asked him about doing an F1 movie. And he's like, "Yeah, it's something I want to do. Me and Lewis Hamilton are good friends." And this is complete speculation.
Yeah.
We know there's an F1 movie. We know Brad Pitt's attached to it. We know Bruckheimer's attached to it. We know Hamilton's attached to it. But we don't know if Tom Cruise is attached to it, which is why I put that in a parenthetical. But those two haven't worked together since Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, wow. Did they get along?
Not that I know of. Can you think of any time they've been in a movie together since Interview with a Vampire? Because I can't.
If you're out there in listener land and we're missing something, let us know. But I
Yeah.
can't think of anything.
No. So anyway, as long as they don't bring Kirsten Dunst back, I'll be happy. But yeah, I can definitely see Brad Pitt playing a chief principal with a new and upcoming driver. And
But Tom Cruise is too old to be a driver. Tom Cruise has got eccentric older
or maybe
owner.
it's two chief principals going at it. Maybe it's a Toto Wolff Christian Horner
Yeah, maybe so.
reboot.
That would be. I think I would like that more
I would.
than watching.
That's because we're older, man.
I think so. I think that would be really cool.
You remember the movie Driven with Sylvester Stallone and one of
I
the
never watched it,
Skarsgård
but I
kids,
remember
I
it.
think.
Yep.
But that was the whole Sylvester Stallone was the old bird that was needed to retire, and he needed to coach up the new kid coming along who didn't know what was going on. I'm kind of sick of that trope. I'm kind of hoping they go with the more meaningful, and that Brad Pitt's kind of gone that way with his career lately. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I hope they do a good job.
Have they said anything about production?
No,
has it even started? I don't think it started,
it's
right?
Still I think it's still pre-production. They were there just gathering data this weekend.
Gotcha.
And I'm sorry, whoever that producer director is for this movie, I didn't remember your name, and I apologize. Anyway, but they were the producer on the new Top Gun movie. So
okay, so it's going to be good.
You got the new Top Gun guy, whoever that is, with Brad Pitt and Lewis Hamilton
and Bruckheimer.
It's going
to be a good show.
Should be decent. So that's that. But we do have some NASCAR news to cover.
Well, you better get it quickly.
Yeah, we're trying to go fast. But oh my goodness, dude. Let's just go to podiums.
You sure you don't want to talk about Bubba coming back?
Bubba pushed a guy to race. He got suspended for a race. The next race this weekend's his favorite track at Martinsville.
Go, Bubba, go.
Let's go podiums and back markers.
All righty. Podiums and back markers. Okay, Jay, you go first.
So my third place person is the guy that drives that convertible for Red Bull, Max Verstappen, because it's open top convertible. Anyway,
I got it.
Sorry, I know you're a little slow on the uptake.
It's dumb.
So
Dad joke.
Congratulations to Max winning the title for Red Bull, winning the title for yourself. Second place, Hamilton, best race you've had all year, man, and you did a great job. Commend you for it. Wanted you to win, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe, but I did. And first place goes to Vettel, who's going out like a champ. Instead of just, taking the hat bowing and going back to the bleachers, another baseball reference. He's still playing to win. So that's mine.
Okay, I'll go real quick. Third place, COTA. I thought they put on a heck of a show. I think that I didn't even know when I put this down that they broke the record. Love the atmosphere. Don't like the town. But
we never said this, guys. If you're listening and you're not an F1 fan, COTA stands for Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, it's in Austin, Texas. Yeah. It's a really fun track. NASCAR races there. I think you said it's not your favorite. I like it. It's just kind of wide and sweeping and fun, and I feel like there's some good overtake places, and it's a fun track to race on. Number 2, Sebastian Vettel. For everything Jay said, I mean, the guy's like, he's done. It's over. He's at the end of his career. He's got 3 races left. He just seems to be having fun. I really like him a lot.
By the way, Nico Rosberg is trying to pick him up on an E-Series contract, but go ahead.
Okay. And then number 1, Max Verstappen. You win, you get on the podium every time.
Yeah. My honorable mention goes to Toyota Gazoo Racing for the rally title.
Rock on. Okay. Back markers. We can't read that.
Back markers.
Don't read that.
So I wrote a lot of expletives in here because Chad stole most of my back markers.
I didn't know I did.
So my third place, also Lewis Hamilton, because he's so close but so far away. The second place was Lance Stroll because, dude, you got to do better. You really got to do better. And first place goes to George Russell, which I didn't even do my rant on, but I'm sick and tired of George Russell not taking accountability for his own actions. He said that Sainz turned into him this weekend. Sainz was stationary, and you literally saw Russell turn into Sainz.
It's been every time.
Every time.
It was Checo a couple of times.
Red Bull ring with Checo.
Yep.
And then another Checo incident.
Yep. It's been him every time.
Yes.
So here's what I was going to say earlier.
I'm tired of it, dude.
And he made my number 1 back marker as well. I used to be a George Russell fan.
Yeah.
And I say used to be because I now think that he may be not as talented as I thought. You can't have a car like a Mercedes, and he's raced well this year. Don't let me.
Lewis Hamilton's got him the last few races.
The last half of the season.
Yeah.
He's talented. I'm not trying to take that away. He's talented. He knows what he's doing. He's good, but I don't think he is as good as he thinks he is. I think he's outdriving his talent, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's just not as good as he thinks he is. I'm kind of off the Russell train. I've jumped ship. I'm going to go back on the Max train. I know I got a minute and a half. Number 2, Stroll. I didn't even know you couldn't make that turn. I just thought it was dumb. I mean, I thought it was just a bad move. He was there. Why block? I mean,
Yeah.
once you see his nose, he's there.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing good going to come out of that. And number 3, pit stops in general, especially air guns. Go get some new air guns, guys, because it didn't work well. Okay, so that's the Fuel Pod episode number 29, season 2, episode 9, wrapped up in the books. When's the Mexico race, Jay?
This weekend.
Okay.
Not next weekend, this weekend.
This weekend. So we got a race in just a couple of days. This
Yeah.
is going to come out on Friday, about 3:00, or you can listen to it live. Listen to it live. We won't be doing it live, but you can listen to it live on ESPN Paris 105.1 Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Get you ready for the race. Listen to the last race. Get you ready for Mexico, even though we didn't talk about it a whole lot.
If you got F1 TV Friday afternoon, you can start watching Free Practice 1 and get all the sessions on F1 TV.
We've got about 47 seconds before we get kicked off the air on ESPN Paris.
JMJ729 on Twitch. Chad is Chad
H610.
H610. He's also that on Twitter. I'm JNeil729. You've been listening and watching to the podcast. Follow us, like us, subscribe, download,
5-star review,
support us, 5-star review. Thank you very much. This has been a crazy episode. Thank you all. You guys have a great evening.
I do have one. I just ruined your whole.
I get to close it one time.
All right, we're still live on YouTube, Jay.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, do we want to keep
Sweet.
going? Is there anything else we want to talk about?
By the way, it switched. I guess it ended on our Bahrain, but this is our delivery for the Gran Turismo 7 Formula cars. And that's there's the Chad livery for the Cox 25. If you want that car, let me know. Right now, it's not shared to anybody but Chad. So if you want that car and you have Gran Turismo 7, we would love to see you drive around repping that car.
Would.
My car's on there too, but it's up in first place, so you can't really see it.
What a jerk. What a complete ass.
Back there in third place is Fernando Alonso's next year Aston Martin that I kind of prototyped on my own, and it's available everywhere.
One thing that I was going to say that I stopped, and then you got all emotional about not getting to end the show, which, by the way, again, bonus content here. You did a great job ending the show.
Oh, well, thank you,
man. You sounded like a professional. Blah, 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 but you were shooting those mothers from the hip now. Come on over here. No. But the Discord, especially if anybody on that was dealing with Mikey, was dealing with Diddy Pot Pie, that he sent you this link or whatever to watch us today. And by the way,
thanks for those people, whoever you
Mike.
are. And I hope we get to talk to you and meet you.
So first off, this may have been my favorite episode ever. I mean, a hell of an episode to start with if those guys got to listen to this episode. But the Discord chat.
Yeah.
I have found that is our favorite way to talk to people.
Yeah,
Twitter's great.
We talk motorsports all day.
We just talk about this and that and, whatever. So it's a lot of fun. So if you're out there and you're listening to this and it's your first time, get with us on Discord. Tell us we're idiots. Tell us you love us. Tell us what to talk about. We don't care. We love it. But anyway, Jay, do you have any other words of wisdom before we sign off of YouTube and Twitch?
I do not. I just want to grow the nation and get us all hanging out.
I like it. We need to start racing together. Everybody out there that's got games, let's get a league going in F1 or GT or whatever
ACC,
you want to do it on.
I don't care what you do.
Monster Jam,
Dakar
NHRA,
Rally, Hot Wheels Unleashed,
WRC,
whatever.
Death by Daylight, whatever you want to do. All right, we'll be online. What time is it? It's 10:29. We might be racing tonight, Jay.
Maybe.
I might be able to talk old man Jay into it. We might be live on Twitch. The Fuel Pod Nation live on Twitch.
Yeah.
All right, y'all have a good evening.